likes up. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. Get them likes.
We are live outside the courthouse. Sorry I missed you guys earlier, but there was so much commotion.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Say, hey man, I know y'all ain't used to seeing me during the week. You know what I'm talking about? Seeing me, my bad. Seeing me on during the week. We still on Sundays. Me, Carly Chiffon, DJ Designs, Sundays at 7:30. But say, this gonna be a new segment that I'm doing on Spinning the Block Media. Know what I'm saying? It's called First Word with Derek Demure. So yeah, y'all tap in, man. Say today we going over day 5 of the Diddy trial, and it was some explosive shit going on. This chick right here, her name is what's her name? Man, Tish Tells. So, hey, she did a great job. She was in there, um, absorbing everything, taking hella notes. I know y'all probably been on Twitter, checking out Inner City Press, and he do a good job of tweeting. You know what I'm saying, keeping us updated on the tweets. But every time there's a break in the courtroom, she comes outside, she gives us a quick update, and it's very detailed, unbiased. Well, I'm not gonna say unbiased because I think she wanted Diddy to go to jail, but she does tell both sides accurately. I'm gonna say that. Okay. So hey, I appreciate y'all joining in with me tonight. Say man, let's get into this because old girl is breaking it down, baby. And we gonna stop give our commentary. Say y'all jump in the comments, let me know what y'all think about her commentary. Let's go.
You guys come in there and sit down. We need to talk. Cassie literally talked about Jonathan Adi. She said that he tried to mail her and he had record FO tapes. Get this, Jonathan did it for his own protection. He said that he thought Diddy might blame him for Cassie's. You guys, we got to talk about this, and this is something big. Hold on really quick. Listen,
I know who
good
she
morning,
talking
everybody.
about, right? She talking about y'all remember the white dude that got accused of trying to pop Trump? Well, yeah, this is who she talking about, the sex worker dude. And he was secretly recording Cassie, right? But he said he was doing it for his own protection because he was part of one of the freak offs, or a few of the freak offs, actually. He was doing it for his own protection because Cassie kept passing out and shit. So he felt like if she died, Diddy might try to blame him for her overdosing. Let's go.
First of all, how are things going? Hold on really quick. One second, you guys. Sorry, guys. So much stuff is happening in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Again, Cassie said that Jonathan Adi had a freak off tape. She said he weirded her out. He didn't trust it. Jonathan Adi said, yeah, I taped you, but guess what? I did it for my own protection. On top of that, Diddy's team is up to struggling. I really, at this point, and I've been sitting around a lot of legal experts, we don't know what the point is. Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. I do know this. It seems like Diddy is intent on destroying Cassie's reputation. 100% intent. He lost everything. And let me tell you something, Cassie.
Well, we all knew that, right? And once again, man, this is, if y'all not following old girl, go follow her. I'm telling you, she give hella good updates. Her name is Tish Tells on all social media. But we knew we knew the defense team was gonna go after her character, right? Um, but they did it in a subtle way. It wasn't the usual badgering of a witness like most lawyers do when they get them on the stand. So they threw some subtle jabs at her, and they did it by having the woman lawyer go up there and actually cross-examine her. So let's go.
He lost everything. And let me tell you something, Cassie is inside of his head. There was a thing where people said that Cassie was giggling in court. She was not laughing, but Cassie does a nervous thing like, huh, whenever she feels nervous, okay? This is true. Even in her text message, she does that. However, in court, when they said, what did he value the most? Cassie said his reputation, no, his success, right? And Diddy looked like he wanted to explode, okay? Diddy looks like he wanted to explode. Again, remember I said everybody talking about, oh, it's an apology. Why did you go after the money? People like Diddy only care about the money. That's all he cares about. The money, the power, the respect, whatever it is, okay? Cassie was literally on the stand testifying. Diddy's team is all over the place. The point of the matter isn't to get something that sounds salacious. Who cares? Who cares? Even though Cassie did a good job. Oh, it's graduations.
Right
I'm outside the courthouse. There's graduations going on.
They was getting their naturalization done, the immigrants. But back to what she was saying, man. Yeah, we all knew they was gonna try to come out with something salacious, and we all know Puffy is all about money and power, right? So let's get to what she's talking about.
Oh, they're graduating. Oh, wait, no, it's not graduation. Sorry, it's immigration. People are getting their natural, yeah, thank you, their naturalization and their citizenship. So those are the excited screams of new American citizens. Welcome to the hellhole. Please get to work because we got a lot to fix. We need somebody to fix this economy. Anyway, right? So what happened was, this. Cassie, Diddy had tried all yesterday to make it seem like Cassie was a ho because he was cheating on her, and that's why he was beating. Even though anyone that takes that logic, I gotta say, what is wrong with you that you really honestly think because you are because somebody's cheating on you, you have the right to lay their hands on? Cassie today came back prepared, and she said, no, they talked about Chris Brown. They talked about an NFL player. They talked about all this. And
I want to know who the NFL player was, really. And I didn't even know he had accused her of just dancing with Breezy and wanted to put his hands on her for that. Like, damn, Puff, you just too controlling. You out there, bro.
Defense was like, yeah, weren't you having an affair? Weren't you cheating? And Cassie said, hey, Yuki Miyazawa, thank you so much for.
Yeah, right now she just, going down her Cash App list and stuff like that. I'm telling y'all, man, go check out. But let's get back into it.
I appreciate you. And yes, I will be reading them as they come in. Okay? So here's the problem, okay? Cassie came back today and she was like, Ivy Curtis, you said, love your content. You're amazing. Thank you so much, Ivy. Cassie came back today and she was like, no. Let me hold on one second.
So yeah, they was trying to, like I said, badger Cassie a little bit, but they were doing it in subtle ways.
Okay. So Cassie, sorry y'all.
I'm gonna say this though. Cassie did, to me, she kind of helped the defense a little bit when she was giving certain statements. You know what I'm saying? Like she was saying she didn't hate him, and some of the texts were just, some of the texts were like she wanted this stuff to happen. But as we get later into the videos and stuff like that from Tish, you'll see that the defense was only reading certain part of the text to make it look a certain way. So let's get back into it.
Cassie came back and she was like, no. Let me tell you something. TLD, thank you so much for the super chat. Cassie came back and said, yo, we weren't together. Every time when I was with the NFL player, first of all, they were like, you were dancing with Chris Brown. And she was like, I wasn't dancing with Chris Brown, but Diddy accused me of dancing with Chris Brown. They're trying to paint Cassie as this wayward, loose woman. Bitch. And even if she was, who cares? Nobody deserves to get abused by this, like that, right? Simalu, thank you so much for joining the family, all right? However, Cassie and Nicola, thank you so much for the super chat. Cassie pushed back and said, yeah, absolutely not. Y'all not getting me like this. As a matter of fact, we weren't together. And half the times when he was flipping out on me, he was in a jealous rage, but he was always accusing me of doing stuff I didn't do. He accused me of stealing his rugs. He accused me of dancing with Chris Brown. I wasn't dancing with him. He accused me of trying to do this and that, okay? I had a relationship with Kid Cudi. We wasn't together. And Diddy's own team acknowledges that they got together after Cassie broke up with Kid Cudi. Diddy and her got back together.
Hey, she had told Kid Cudi about what Diddy had said about his car before they actually had a sit down. I don't know if y'all knew that part or not, but yeah, Diddy had actually called Kid Cudi and Cassie for a sit down after him and after Cassie had got back together, I believe. But yeah, Cassie had told Kid Cudi about, what Diddy had said about his car, and Kid Cudi brought it up, and Diddy was like, "What car, nigga?" But we all see what happened to the car, right?
Also with this NFL player that Cassie was saying.
I
They
want to
didn't
know
say
who
the
that
NFL
is.
person's name. I'm going to try to Google to see who it is. But Cassie was literally saying we were not together then
Google
either.
ain't gonna tell you.
Diddy's team was stuck. Sharondra Sanders said, great job, Tisa. Keep up the great work. Thank y'all so much. I'm just going to be on here for a minute. Not going to hold y'all long, but I want to give y'all the team. There's so much that come in. First of all, before we get into the Jonathan Oddie stuff, because
But I got several videos from her today, and we gonna go through each one because I'm telling you, hey, if y'all watching, shout out to Inner City Press, because while they're in the courtroom, I do go down, I do be reading his tweets. You know what I'm saying? And he's semi-accurate. I mean, he's giving us as much as he can tweet, but when she comes out, she is hella detailed, y'all. I'm telling you. And at first, I was watching Lauren LaRosa from the Breakfast Club give her breakdowns, but Lauren LaRosa is nowhere near this chick's level of detail.
was groundbreaking. The judge is mad. Diddy's team kept trying to delay. Yana Artist said, amazing job, T. Said, thank you for the super chat. And I appreciate y'all, Brian. My broke self some lunch, coffee, dinner. I appreciate it. Also, there was a lot of 403 ejections. They were talking about 2 videos and 1 text message. There was a 30-second clip. It was Diddy walking through nature, okay? It was Diddy walking through nature where he said, nature, God, love. They played it in court. Grace, calmness, and love. As I grow, I want you to grow with me. He's now they're saying that was sent from Diddy to Cassie while he was in rehab. He said, yo, it's all love. Now they tried to get Cassie being like, oh, like trying to make it seem like Diddy tried to get clean and Cassie was the one keeping them high off of that own supply, right? Sonia Jackson, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, mama. But Diddy's team, Cassie's team actually put back and said, actually not. She said, first of all, yes, that was in Sedona. And they were like, well, what's in Sedona? And she was like, energy vortexes.
Hey, yeah, they was trying to make it seem like she went to a sexual rehab place, right? When actually she didn't. So, I mean, let's get back into the commentary. I'm telling y'all, man, today was juicy than eat motherfucker, right? Let's go.
And they were like, oh, well, what about like rehab facilities? Is that in Arizona? She said, I wouldn't know. They said, isn't it true that you went to a rehab facility in Arizona? Cassie said, Cassie literally sat there and said, no, I went someplace for a week. It was a spa, but not a rehab. All of a sudden, Diddy's team started looking around nervous, and they were like, okay, never mind, no further questions. Because I guess Diddy had told them or let them believe that when he sent that video, he was in rehab and he was trying to get clean, when at the end of the day, it was nothing but a week-long spa.
Busted. Diddy. Defense team tried to make it look like he was in rehab. This nigga over there trying to snort up Peru somewhere. Yeah, but say shout out to everybody on Twitter, man. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We streaming right now. Say we're getting the breakdown from the Cassie trial today. So if y'all been reading the tweets, this is the real spill. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get into it.
Right? Andre Elam said, do your thing, Tisa, and report back with the outstanding reporting. Thank you. They are still in court. I have to go up very quickly, but let me get through this. So that was the first thing that got Diddy was really, really upset about that, right?
She keeps saying that, but say she spent 30 minutes giving us the spill on this particular clip. We got more to go through.
Now, there was also a selfie. It was hey, Blaine Minor, thank you so much for the super chat. And Kelly, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate y'all. Shania Boylan said, hey, Tisa, I emailed you. Says, don't worry, I'm checking my email today. I'm just really busy. Okay, so then it was a photo, Exhibit 1193. It was sent by Cassie in the text chain. She was saying that she was talking about going to Dak's class and coming back bruised. They wanted to admit that. They haven't got to that. Myself and a lot of legal experts are like, what does that mean? Because here's the thing, Cassie was hiding the abuse. She hid it from her own mother. So why would she send a random friend pictures of her bruised up, being like, oh, Sean just beat my ASS, right? Again, it weren't best friends, it was just random friends. If anything, it looked like Cassie was making excuses for why she had bruises all up and down her body. Talking about, oh my God, I went to this new dance class and it kicked my butt. Because at the end of the day, why would you have bruises on your butt, your backside, and everywhere else you said Diddy kicked you if you were coming out of dance class? It literally doesn't make sense. Sherry for Justice said, good morning, Ray of Sunshine, and thank you. Samalu said, you are fabulous and beautiful. Love from Australia. Thank you. And Lisa K said,
I'm gonna say this too. Act be doing a good job of reading the tweets over there. You know what I'm saying? But he not giving you this breakdown. So what he's interpreting is coming off those tweets, and those tweets are incomplete. We getting to it right here, baby.
his son Brandon some birthday love. Also, MLM, thank you so much for the super chat. All right, so that what was going on. So there was a photo of also Diddy's team were
No
literally
shame to
acting
act.
like
I
they were
want
so
to say
happy
that
they
too.
could
You
show
do a
two
good
pieces
job.
of evidence until defense shut that down. Also, Little Debbie, thank you so much for the cash apps. Also, let's see, text messages. Oh, the prosecution once again tried to do an ambush. They were bombarded with 400 pieces. Oh yeah, also you guys, I'm working on the cash app. I think because I got so many cash apps. It wasn't a lot, but it was a lot of individual ones. Cash App is just having me re-verify. Don't worry, I'm a real person, baby. Don't worry. Everything legit over here. But I'm working on that with Cash App. Anyway, right? They said it should be fixed by the time this live is over. They said they were bombarded with 400 pieces and only want to use 4 to 5 pieces of evidence. That's another thing. The defense kept sneaking in things that weren't admitted into evidence. It happened a few times. They would show it to the jury, then be like, oops, mistake. After the third time, Judge Aaron had his fill, right? Diddy, oddly enough, I told you yesterday he was very upset.
But you know, when you losing, you gonna try to slide shit in, right? I mean, that's just a tactic by the defense. And not only defense lawyers do it, but prosecutors do it too. So they go both ways. But you know, you're gonna always try to slide something in there.
Up with Tinny Garagos, the whole team actually, but Diddy was whispering to Mark Agnifilio. Get this, the whole time of the trial
Oh
it's been
yeah. Say y'all peep this out because Diddy is upset with one of his lawyers. I'm telling y'all, this is getting juicy, man. She did a great job. One time for Tish Tells. Hey, if y'all ain't following her, go follow her. Go follow her. It's Tish Tells on all social media platforms.
Mark, Teeny, Diddy, Brian Still. I met Brian Still. He said he knew who I was. So it was Mark, Garagos, Tinny, Diddy, Brian Still, Shapiro, and then there's this other girl. I think her name's Miss Esteban or something like that. Today, Diddy only had Brian on one side and Mark Garagos on the other, and he was not in a good mood with Tinny Garagos. Latina said, great job, Tisa. Stay safe out there. I most certainly 100% will. Also, Elysion Jester, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. I appreciate that. And then Dogman Laura said, thank you, Tisa. Get some rest. Listen, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Let me not talk about that. Speaking into existence, Creed Speaks 23 said, thank you for the awesome reporting. You are welcome. Okay, so let me get through this stuff, right? So anyway, Tinny Garagos was not allowed around Diddy anymore. Oh my God, Miss Prissy said, let's go, beautiful. Let's MF and go. Thank y'all for the generous super chats and funding my little excursion. Also, Denisha Logan said, love these check-ins, Tisa. Defense seems to be really scrambling. Y'all, let me just say this while I'm doing my Law and Order.
Nah, for real. She said the defense was scraping and
Sorry.
scraping all day, but they did have some good moments. And we
Okay, it's right.
good, man.
But listen, I don't care what nobody says. I'm in the courtroom. I know a little bit about legal. Sherry D, thank you so much for the super chat. The defense is struggling. Let me just say this for anybody that doubts they are or not. The point of defense and cross-examination is to poke holes in the story. If I say I showed up on the courthouse in a black suit on a Friday afternoon, all right? The jury, unless you come back and give some reason why the jury won't believe me, it goes into the record. Your job on cross-examination is to be like, was it black or was it navy blue? It was black. That's funny, because where'd you get that suit from? I got it from Nordstrom. And what day did you buy it? I bought it on November 11th. And you bought it from Nordstrom, right? And then I thought the prosecutors, Emily is the blonde. I thought she didn't do a good job, but Wednesday she completely redeemed herself and it was part of her plan.
Yeah, I had to fast forward it right there because she was like basically just giving a synopsis of a scenario or whatever. So yeah, I didn't want to go through that. We want to get to the meat and potatoes.
Call it like I see it. I want Cassie to win. I want the people to win. However, if it's not going to look that way, I will 100% report that to y'all. My issue with this is,
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I like. She gonna report it from all sides. You know what I'm saying? It seems like Lauren LaRosa is reporting it from one side because I do watch The Breakfast Club and I do watch um, Lauren LaRosa like on a daily basis. But a lot of the media are seem like they only reporting it from one side, and I hate that for them because we need to grasp the overall picture, you know what I'm saying, on what's actually going on. And Tish does a great job of that. So once again, shout out Tish Tells.
This team is doing a sloppy emphasis on sloppy job. Tabby Lynn, thank you so much for the super chat. Tracy Sexy Juicy Lime Muffin said he's so under the gel and he doesn't even realize it. Great coverage. I hope you're able to stay throughout. Oh, thank you. Dreamer, thank you for the super chat. And Entertainment Jones said Cassie is just as guilty as Diddy. Baby, not in the eyes of the law. And this is what I'm trying to... Hold on, I'm dropping stuff.
A lot of people do feel that way though, and I understand that. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I understand that is because the way some of her testimony is coming across, and not only that, if you the way the defense read those text messages, she was complicit in some of that shit. So I 100% do understand what some people come from with that. But my thing is, she was manipulated into doing this from the jump. So let's go. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear y'all's. Let's go.
Here's Edgar, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Here's what I'm trying to tell people. Lori Miller said, great job, Tisa. You're the real MVP. Thank you. Here's what I'm trying to say. Believe it, and it will be. Thank you so much for joining the Tisa Tells family. Also, Honeybee Therapy said, keep up the reporting, love. And Tanya Bumpus said, thank you for the updated commentary. And T-Bone, thank you so much for that super chat. Okay, so listen, here's what I mean. People saying that Cassie is just as guilty as Diddy. For what? Shantae Cia said, thank you so much for clocking all the tea. How? What is she guilty of? What are the charges? I'm not talking about people's twisted moral codes where they believe that in a world where violence belongs in a relationship. And in a world, if a woman is a hoe, then she's disposable and you can treat her like a rag doll. In a world that if you accept it, then I can do it. Just because you might accept that I can punch you in your face every night, punch you in your face every single night, does not mean that I accepted it. Anyway, Alejandro Aranda, people, thank you so much for the super chat.
But people aren't really saying that. What people are saying is she was complicit in some of these freakouts because she actually initiated some of these freakouts, and that's what they were saying. They wasn't saying, it's not about the domestic abuse. But if this RICO would have went down and Cassie wasn't cooperating with the feds, she could very well have been charged in that. But since she's cooperating, they're giving her immunity. So
did y'all see that? There is a cute little furry. Hold on, let me see if I can stalk the bumblebees. Did y'all see it?
Okay, Tish,
oh my God. There was a cute little furry bumblebee flying around. That's good luck. Carl Carlton said, best reporter ever. Great job reporting. Thank you. All right, let's get into this Jonathan Oddie stuff, okay? Because this is going to blow your mind. Jackie Gomez says, thanks, girl, for all your hard work. And also T-Bone said...
Y'all do know who Jonathan Oddie is, right? Okay, that's the guy who tried to assassinate Trump or whatever. And he initially came out and said that he was Diddy and Cassie's sex slave. No one believed him at that time, right? But now, since Cassie brought him up in the trial, his testimony during that police interview is totally relevant. And a lot of the things Cassie's saying, he said in that interrogation room. So let's get to it. Oh, my bad, y'all. My bad.
Stuff, because I'm going to have to come back down and go with all these other details. Y'all not got a minute. Let me get my notes out really quick. Oh, here we go. They asked her about Jonathan Oddie, right? And they said that Cassie said that Jonathan Oddie was aggressive to her during freak-offs. but Diddy liked that. But she did say that she always felt uncomfortable around him because during freak offs, he was super aggressive with her. However, he was following Diddy's directive because Diddy directed all of it and he wanted Jonathan to be aggressive with her. Again, Cassie was not in control of the freak offs. Everybody, even Diddy's team, agrees with that. Latrice Strong, thank you so much for the super chat. They said Cassie said she felt uncomfortable with Jonathan Adi's overall energy and vibe. Her overall energy and vibe, she felt super uncomfortable with. Okay, she told Diddy about Jonathan Adi because she was like, yo, he's giving me weird vibes. I don't know. And he also said that, yo, I think Jonathan Adi was recording some parts of the freak off videos. I think he recorded me while we were having a freak off. So remember that guy in Jersey Sujit that was like, yo, she approached him and he was like, yo, I seen the freak off tapes. And she was like, how did you see him? How did you see him? He's like, yeah. Don't worry about it. Well, Cassie actually thought that Jonathan Adi had sold the freak off tape because he threatened to expose them. Jada Gemini said, it hurts reading people be so ignorant about the case, but I commend you so much for your articulation and remaining focused on the facts. Baby, you know I'm going to ride a fact till the wheels come off. Birchie said, Tisa, thank you for giving us in between the lines. Jai Jordan said, Tisa, you're a real life doll. Thank you for all you do. Love you. Stay safe. And Sonia Jackson, thank you so much for the super chat. All right, hold on. Let me wrap this up because I got to go back in the corner. I got so much, even keep sending super chats, but I got so much tea to read. Okay, so she thought Audie was recording him. Now listen, she literally told Diddy, yo, he's recording us. What's going to go on? Diddy said, yo, I'll take care of it. If you guys don't know, we were the first to break Jonathan Adi, but there was actually the NDA was actually leaked that shows Jonathan Adi is expected to testify in this trial. The prosecution has held the witness list very close to their heart, but it looks like the prosecution is going to release the witness list to the judge by Sunday at 5 p.m. The judge also said for moving forward, if there's any exhibits that the defense wants to add last minute, they are going to have to add them Sunday at 5 p.m. So it looks like we'll have the full witness list and Jonathan Adi is expected to testify. Also,
yeah, they not releasing the witness list because they afraid of witness tampering. They think, Puffy gonna send some people to try to get at some people. So that's why they're trying to keep the witness list under wraps.
Let's see. Deanna Armstead, thank you so much for the super chat, the Cash App. And Sonia C said, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. So anyway, hold on, Jonathan Adi. Diddy said he promised to take care of it. There is proof that Diddy settled with Jonathan Adi. Jonathan Adi's wife did an interview where she confirmed our investigation and said he had negative 1,800 before the trial started, before the NDA was signed, and then after he went and bought 4 luxury properties, all cash in buying sprees, okay? They also talked about Darren. He's the owner of Cowboys and Angels. If you want more about Cowboys and Angels, actually pretty funny. I did a live call. We found Diddy's freak off supplier. I found that 2 years ago from my investigative reporting. Cassie and the government have confirmed, and I actually put pictures of their favorite male Smex workers up on the screen and give y'all more besides the scene information. Hold on, there's more Jonathan Adi stuff. Now get this, right? Diddy said he'll take care of it. I guess the way he took care of that was really settling with Jonathan Adi. Caroline in Ultra Level said, Tisa, you're my inspiration. Thank y'all so much. And also Sterling Lee, thank you so much for the super chat. So then, get this. Jonathan Adi threatened to show the video to the world, right? And asked and stated by an attorney. Adi's, no, they said, no. So that's what it is. Diddy's attorney said, but Jonathan Adi threatened to show the video to the world. And the attorney asked Cassie, and Cassie stated, I'm not aware of him threatening to show the world, but I am aware of the fact that he actually recorded us secretly. Now get this, Jonathan Adi, in his confession, because I put that on my YouTube a while back, but in his confession, Jonathan Adi already clapped back on that. Jonathan Adi said that one time they were having a freak off. This goes to the fact that Diddy kept Cassie coked up and doped up, right? Had a freak off and Cassie blacked out, right? They said Cassie completely passed out. Funny how Diddy's trying to say Cassie turned him out, when at the end of the day, Cassie was the one blacking out. Cassie was the one doing this. Cassie was the one that went to rehab. Diddy never went to rehab. He never even went to therapy.
How Cassie turned him out when he was the first one to introduce her to drugs? Come on now. That's a classic case of, just trying to mess with somebody, trying to flip the script on somebody, basically. Yeah.
Anyway, Jonathan Oddie said that she did pass out, but he recorded it to make sure that Sean Diddy Combs didn't blame him for murking Cassie. Yes, he did it so that Sean Diddy Combs did not blame him for murking Cassie. Listen, Jess just said, did the lady shot in the face by Diddy a possible witness? You guys are talking about Natanya. We do not know. The witnesses have to be quiet. We do not know. We haven't gotten any inside tea. I do know that whoever else, Aubrey's testifying. That's no big deal. I think there's this other girl. I don't want to put her name out there until I'm sure. I'll talk about it later. I'm going to come back later and go live. Make sure you turn your notifications on. I'm probably going to be.
But girl who got shot in the face, Sean already did time for that. So I mean, what does she have to add to the case? Nothing. That had nothing to do with this incident. With what they're talking about now, particularly what's going on in this case, the Rico racketeering, that shit happened a long time ago. Sean already did the time for it. I don't see, they going back and trying to convict Puffy of that federal charge. Sean did stay time for it.
Be out here like in another hour and a half, 2 hours to give y'all the tea. But anyway, Samalu said, will Ali Carter be a witness? Listen, the witness list is being released, well, not released, but being given to the judge Sunday at 5 p.m. and that should be published to the public on Monday. Linda Arnold, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Chantel Renee said, Team Tisa, go DJ. Anyway, Shannon Hill said, thank you for gifting a membership. Also, Kawasaki Kid sent Tisa is the GOAT. And Miss Prissy, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Y'all please thank the people that are gifting the memberships. We also have Lindsay J saying, keep up the good reporting.
Y'all want to listen to this, you know what I'm saying? Because she about to drop some real shit towards the end of this here, so let's get to it.
So it was 45-day treatment. There was no contact rules, so she couldn't really talk to her family. Cassie is on Suboxone and Buprofen. Those are opioid addiction drugs to make sure it breaks. It's like you take it because you don't want your opioid addiction. She's still on that. She's been on it since 2022. It doesn't make you high, but it stopped your cravings for opioids. She said she started writing her book during her stay at Willow House. And they asked her, well,
so y'all know the book coming after this trial, right? New York bestseller list, baby.
You get treated for sex addiction, sexual compulsion, love addiction, because there's all this stuff talking about Cassie was a freak. She was a blink addict. She was addicted. The people that just got like ashy ankles and dirty Timbs on, man or woman. Cassie was a freak. Cassie, but let me stop before y'all catch me in the wintertime with some dirty Timbs on and ashy ankles and be like, Anyway, right? But Cassie was a freak. Cassie had sex addictions. Cassie had sexual compulsions. She was a love addict. They tried to ask for that. Again, Diddy is mad and he's trying to ruin Cassie's reputation. But baby, you can't ruin a reputation with someone that has more. It's going to end up having more money in this world than you do. Because Cassie got $20 million. And Ninja, by the time the feds are done with you with the federal foreclosure, forfeiture, seizure things, you're not going to have anything. Anyway, Cassie stood on that stand and said, no, I didn't get treated for any of that. So Diddy looked crushed because he's been trying to get that narrative out that he wasn't behind the freak offs, but Cassie just wanted the freak off so bad. What was he going to do? She was an addict, y'all. He said, no, I never got treated for that. None of that is true. I don't know what you are talking about, right? The legendary Kind, thank you so much for gifting the membership. Also, let me go before the super chats leave the screen. Jennifer.
Let's go. I ain't mean.
Thank you so much for gifting the membership.
Fast forward it a little bit.
Thank the super chats. Let me just get through these before I get back into. Diddy never looked at Cassie as a human. In his mind, she had no right to ever feel the touch of another man. She had no right to be out for a friend. She had no right to do anything and live a life outside of him. And he thought that whenever he wasn't around, she was supposed to sit on the shelf like a doll and then just stay there until he was ready to play with her again. Diddy's team, and I want to say this 100%, is proving nothing. It's about to start raining, and y'all know I was fighting with the rain last week. Diddy's team, Tara Nash, thank you so much for the super chat. Diddy's team proved absolutely nothing. And again, I don't care that you tell me that she might have slept with men. I don't care if women are hoes, okay? God gave me this body to do with it what I will. Diddy does it tries to make us feel like because Cassie was disrespecting him and dating a celebrity, she had a right to get her butt kicked, even though they weren't even together. It's ridiculous. SS said, new subscriber, appreciate your reporting. Much love from Maryland. Much love from you, SS, to you, SS, too. My whole point of the matter is, listen, y'all, don't believe the hype. This cross-examination is going horrible for Diddy. And it's going so bad that the prosecution said, you know what? Y'all can cross-examine Cassie till 4:30, and we'll just take the last 30 minutes. And Diddy's team was looking stuck because Diddy's team wanted to have the last word. That means no matter what Diddy's team says, the last 30 minutes, prosecution is going to go in and rehabilitate everything and clear up every miscommunication and lie that Diddy's team ever tried to put in. Also, Dr. Julia Dinley, leadership life coach at God Bless You.
Say they did go in though. I mean, on recross or not recross, but redirect. They kind of came back and cleaned up some of that shit, and I think the next video that I'm about to show with her focuses on that. But y'all stay tuned because you know how she said Diddy's team wasn't doing shit. Well, that all changes, and y'all are gonna want to be here to listen to that. I'm
Trial. It's raining again, but I'm not on the steps. But y'all, the Cassie's 2018 story, her grape story was called into question on the stand. And baby, I gotta be honest with you, because I call it a spade. This is not good. I know.
Okay. So I think I skipped over a video here, but we still gonna get back to it. Anyway, I apologize for the background noise, but you know, she's got reporters behind her also. So it is what it is, but we getting the tea, right? We getting the juice, right? We getting the information, and that's what we want. So let's go.
I know a lot of people yesterday were saying Diddy's team needed to be done. That was lies and nonsense. They were not doing what needed to be done yesterday. But today, when I came back from Grape, Cassie's whole story fell apart. And you guys, it is crazy. Okay, so what actually happened, okay? Cassie told the story yesterday about what Diddy did to her, the way that she felt like she was taken advantage of, the way she felt that she told this man to stop, and he did not stop, and all this stuff. You guys, this is breaking news, and I really don't know what to do about it.
Okay, now she's talking about the part when she said Diddy raped her, remember? Okay, so let's go. Do y'all think that she told her husband that, or what? Because actually, I ain't gonna even give it away. We just gonna listen to it together, right?
About it, okay? Because I gotta be fair. I gotta talk about when the defense has a win. I know we all want Diddy in jail, but we gotta talk about when the defense has a win. The defense had a huge win today, and I mean huge win today, in the fact that they didn't press Cassie, they didn't confront Cassie, they didn't do anything with Cassie. But what they did do with Cassie is literally just say, you know what happened in 2018? He raped me. Okay, that happened. 2 days later, she sent him a text with a heart. After that, they were saying, I love you, I miss you. I took notes. It was bad. Listen, Diddy asked to see her. She said, good morning, I'm confused, right? They had her.
That do make it seem bad because if a motherfucker raped you, why are you texting this motherfucker good morning and I love you and all this old shit? I mean, I get it. I guess what they call it. What do they call that shit? It's not survivor's remorse, is it? That's why I need some help, Chad. Y'all ain't even fucking with me. Y'all just out here listening to the tea. That's why I need y'all to engage. You know what I'm saying? What do they call it when a victim has sympathy for their attacker? Come on, man. Let me know. Let's jump back into it, though.
Out there looking crazy. Oh, thank you, Glimmer Girl. Listen, they had her out there looking crazy. Now, let me just say this fact. I do think that they are going to get a specialist that is involved in sex trafficking. They're going to get a specialist that is involved in the way victims of this type of stuff and PTSD react. This could be a trauma response. Sorry.
Share the stream, too.
Sorry about that. This could be a trauma response, but at the end of the day, nobody really knows what it is. I'm whispering because I'm on the steps. It is raining. I don't have an umbrella, and I don't feel like them telling me to get off the steps, so I film it, okay? Now, it could be a trauma response. It could be anything. However, she did say that she was raped. She ended up sleeping with Diddy one time after that. We know that. But the thing that they didn't know is they introduced text messages that the prosecution did not have. And those text messages do not those text messages do not paint a good picture. Those text messages show the story of someone that it's not adding up. Now, that said, there are a lot of women and men that are raped by their partners or by their bosses or whoever, and they still stay close to that person, okay?
Say, but no means no, right? That even means if you got a wife and she don't feel like giving it up that night, you can't just take it like they did in the old days. No means no. That means shit. You gotta, do your thing and shit. Leave it on her butt or something. But hey, you can't take it, man.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but let's get into these facts, right? Um, Listen, they said that she was on the beach walking. She texted him like, "Oh my God, I'm on the beach walking with my dad." Literally, she's like, "Yo, have fun with your yoga teacher." And he was like, "What's that supposed to mean?" And Cassie said that she thought he was sleeping with the yoga teacher. And Diddy was like, she said he was like, he's like, "I'm not dating anyone." And she's like, "You've been going with dates all along. This is now like a week after the grape." She said, "I actually need to stop caring." No, Diddy said, "I actually need to stop caring." And he then told Diddy then told Cassie, "If you're dating other people, let's talk about it." Okay, but you guys, it gets even deeper. Again, I see now why they wanted that expert witness, because this is the most disturbing thing, right? When I say that Cassie was caught lying, I still believe her story. My issue is the jury. Cassie lost the jury. There was a woman in the second row. She was a black woman, okay? And she seemed to be running stuff. I think she actually might be like a foreman that's like the jury whip that like keeps everybody in line, right?
If you lose the jury, you lose the case. You know what I'm saying? So her saying Cassie lost the jury, that's a big L right there. How they gonna get them back? You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna keep pushing.
Cassie was talking, and these inconsistencies in her story were exposed, and the girl was just shaking her head. When Cassie was talking about, basically, she was talking to Diddy, and I'll tell you in a second, talking to Diddy while she was talking to Alex. I'm going to tell you what was said. There were men on the jury. 4 men on the jury while she was testifying was just shaking their head in disgust. Ashley SB said, "I hope Ali Carter shows up to testify." Now,
Remember, it's 6 men on the jury in total, right? And it's 8 men on the jury in total, and it's 4 women, right? I think that's right. I know it's 4 women total on the jury. So let's go.
you guys, listen, it's really, really important to know. It's really, really important to know that Cassie, it's really, really important to know that Cassie was, she, how do I say this? I don't know. I'm going to get kicked off the steps. I'm going to have to act like I'm talking to my mom.
Just say it.
So it's really important to know Cassie wasn't trying to cut ties with Diddy after she was raped. If anything, they were maybe discussing coming back and giving things a second chance. Now, I know when you are a victim of rape, that could mean something, that could not mean something. It could be a lot of things. The whole point of the matter is, yeah, exactly. What's more, the men on the jury were shaking their head. You never want to lose the jury. Now, I did talk to people that are very, very close to the case, and they said, "Listen, it's okay. There is no perfect victim. That's why we have an abuse person that's an expert in abuse to actually speak and explain this behavior." The prosecution has not done the redirect. They did tell me something interesting, right? Chris Hollins, greeting from Ireland. What's up, Chris Hollins? But here's the thing. My contacts did say this. Even though in the media, we look at Cassie as their star witness, Cassie is not the star witness of the Diddy trial. They said Gina wasn't the star witness. That's why when she said she wasn't going to testify, they said, "Okay, you ain't got to testify." Neither Cassie nor Gina were the star witnesses in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. So they said that even though this testimony is not the best look for Cassie, and this just happened not even 5 minutes ago, even though it's not the best look for Cassie, their case is still strong, and they got 8 more weeks of people, and they said it is deeper than the Frickoffs, and it's deeper than Cassie. They think they have Diddy dead to rights.
Remember now, some of his old bodyguards are gonna testify. James Cruz is testifying. I don't know if D Rock testifying. Uh, I don't think Bonds is testifying, but she did drop a bombshell about co-conspirators today too. And I'm not gonna let the cat out the bag because we're gonna get to that in one of these videos. But yeah, y'all gonna want to stick around for that. Dawn Richards testified today, so we gonna get her breakdown on that. Like I said, man, her name is Tisa Tells. If y'all ain't following her, y'all need to go follow her. Shout out to Inner City Press for keeping us updated on the tweets, while they're in court. But those tweets aren't necessarily as accurate as this breakdown and definitely not as detailed. So, and it's definitely not. Shout out to Lauren LaRosa. I mean, she doing her thing, but Lauren is not holding the candle to uh, what Tish is doing with her notes. And how she getting all that shit down, hey, I don't know. She must took a shorthand class or something.
They think that they have Diddy dead to rights, okay? And listen.
But hold on, it's also called, what I was looking for in the chat, not helping me out with that, is Stockholm syndrome. That's what I was looking for. I was saying survivor's remorse, but it's actually Stockholm syndrome. So that's my bad. Let's go.
Listen, in any case, listen, Cassie isn't on trial. It doesn't matter. Listen, you guys know I ride out for Cassie. I still believe her. I'm just saying that this testimony was very, very confusing. And Cassie is going to I'm going to talk as close as possible. Cassie is going to have to redeem herself from that. Elle, thank you so much for the super chat. All
Y'all
right.
make sure y'all
They
share
said,
the
Diddy,
live, man. Share
listen,
the live.
now
Y'all
here's the
put
thing how
instant
you know
message. Y'all
that
make
it
it in the
wasn't good
chat.
for
Share the
Cassie.
live.
The baby oil banners were standing up straight, literally getting excited, writing notes. They thought they had Cassie just right. Diddy's somebody that wasn't really showing. Diddy's somebody that has been avoiding Cassie's eyes for the last 2 days. Now he was sitting back looking arrogant again because he thinks, oh, that's another thing. The text messages that were exposed, the prosecution had no idea about them, but the judge still let it be admitted because they were relevant. Amanda said, I love your enthusiasm and real-time updates. Anyway, right? Listen, Diddy said, so Diddy texted Cassie, I don't want a convo where you break up with me again, right? Cassie said, I do love you, but I don't want to just be your girlfriend. So again, this goes to the point that she was pushing for something more. She wanted to be a wife. Okay, fine. So at the end of the day, and there's another thing, people with trauma, yes, you trauma bond, Stockholm syndrome. There's been people that have been kidnapped from kids that said they wanted to be with the kidnapper, not their actual parents they were taken from. You know what I'm saying? They said on 9/16, on 9/16, Cassie texted him, okay, but Cassie asked for a hug. And Diddy is like, can I hold you or are you just going to break up with me again? And Cassie was like, oh, can I hug you? Can I hug you? And she's like, okay, I just wanted a hug, but I understand how you feel. Cassie literally told Diddy that yes, he can hold her, he can hug her. Hold on, let me put my other stuff away, right? Listen, Mommy Heather said, thank you for covering this from the very beginning. This is emotional. It's super emotional. And again, you guys, and let me be clear, I do not think Cassie's lying. I do think that there is an explanation for this, explanation for the inconsistencies. I do know that it looks like Cassie lost the jury a little bit. I also do know that Cassie is not the star witness, but she is 100% an important witness, and it looks like Cassie actually lost the jury. Okay.
And this is why these live accounts are necessary, because we want to know what's going on in the courtroom. We want to know how the jury is looking. You know what I'm saying? We want to know those little details, and we're not getting those from those tweets. And I don't understand why. Like, I was watching Law and Crime today and Fox 5 News and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they weren't giving details like this. So that's what I'm saying. You have these independent reporters, I'm gonna call them bloggers, content creators, that's going in there giving more accurate and detailed information than these actual news outlets. So once again, shout out Tish.
Okay. Listen. So then, Diddy was trying to get Cassie to come over so they could talk about relationship. Seems like he wanted to reconcile. You guys, this is literally a week and a half after the alleged rape. Okay. Cassie said, I'm not trying to be mean. Even showing up at the house will F up my mind, right? So I'm choosing my sanity. She said, I'm choosing my sanity. I'm finally sleeping well and gaining weight. You have no idea what that means. Crystal, thank you so much for the super chat. You said,
And she not giving a shit that's just headline worthy. You know what I'm saying? That's just a good headline. She giving an actual breakdown of everything that's going on from both sides. And that's what I like about that.
Marie M said, you're killing it out there on the mean streets of New York, Tisa. Sending good vibes from Oakland. Thank you so much, Marie. Okay, so anyway, right? Diddy said to Cassie, I respect your sanity. I won't link up, right? So anyway, Cassie then said, I was really looking forward to that hug, but okay. She was disappointed that she couldn't see Diddy again, but she was trying to lure Diddy to come see her. Get this, right? Now listen, I made notes. I said, listen, this is bad. But lots of women, listen, this is bad, but lots of women get raped and still continue with their accuser, you know? But yeah, there are some inconsistencies in Cassie's story. Slainer said, Tisa, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for all you do. I swear if I had money, I would send you more. This is my appreciation for your hard work. Slainer, thank you so much for that. And baby, I'm just glad that you guys are all here just rocking with me. Also, right? Listen, and here's the thing, I literally kept saying to myself, how did prosecution let this get through? How did the prosecution let this get through? How are they not prepared? But I guess the sheet made those statements and it was shared with Diddy. Anyway, Tony and Martin, thank you so much for the super chat, right? Also, on September 27, 2018, she actually ended up, they went out to a friend's dinner together. She was seeing Alex. This is what made the men on the jury shake their head. She went out to the thing. She was seeing Alex, right? And they had a great night. They were vibing, Diddy and Cassie, and she had sex with Cassie. Get this. They said, Alex, oh, Snow White said, you're bringing it. Hugs. Sorry, I'm talking so low. But you know, I'm trying not to get cut off these steps. And it is raining, and I don't want to be kicked out in the rain, okay? Anyway, they said that she had sex with Diddy, okay? They said Alex FaceTimed her during sex and said they said Alex FaceTimed her. Cassie said she doesn't remember if she was intimate with Diddy at that moment or if it happened afterwards. She said Diddy texted her and said he had a great night. The defense said that Alex didn't know. She said, I don't know if Alex knew or not. After Alex discovered, they said, and then the defense asked her, what happened when Alex discovered that you slept with Diddy? And Cassie was like, I don't know if Alex ever discovered that. I don't know what's going on. Again, what was the point of this? To paint Cassie as a ho, and to get the jury on his side. Again, it concerns me that when the four men on the jury heard all this, they just shook their head and let it go. Now, they said, but you told your husband, right? Listen, they told the husband that Amber Diaz said, watching every day from Ontario, Canada, coffee on me, girl. Lord knows you could probably use it, killing it out there. I'm trying to stay quiet so I don't get kicked off the steps. Snow White, thank you so much again. Also, who else? Sherry Betty, thank you so much for the super chat. And Mama Heather said, you're directly under a camera, babe. Look out. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. I'm not I look like I'm FaceTiming. It's fine. And somebody's under a camera. Yes, I am. Okay, so, right? Also, they said, thanks, guys. So anyway, can you guys hear me now? Listen, they said, did you tell your husband that you got raped? They said when Alex found out, he punched a wall, right? And again, it was a friend's restaurant. Diddy asked her that, said he'd fall back. Cassie kept texting him, I miss you. I'm so heartbroken. I feel lost without you. The jury was shaking their head. The black woman in the second row, she was like, she ain't like that at all. Listen, she seems to, Diddy's attorneys at that point seemed to be leading. Again, at that moment, Cassie lost that jury. It's literally, can you guys hear me? Okay. Can you guys actually hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. If not, I'm trying to go live at different places. Okay, y'all can hear me? Okay, good. Okay. So Cassie was trying to negotiate some type of meetup with Diddy, right? She said, but anyway, get this. They bring up Kim Porter's funeral. She says, I didn't just leave you. I guess Diddy was like, you just left me. What happened? She said, I didn't just leave you. I said bye. You want my support, but Gina then said, but you want my support, but Gina was there. So of course Diddy was Diddy and had Cassie, Gina, everybody there. She said, you then said Kim was your soulmate. So if you said Kim was your soulmate, then what was I supposed to do?
We can always hear you. Come on with it.
Point seemed to be leading. Again, at that moment, Cassie lost that jury. It's literally. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Can you guys actually hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. If not, I'm trying to go live at different places.
I mean, but they was just breaking up though, right?
Cassie was trying to negotiate some
Like
type of
she was
meetup
just
with
getting
Diddy.
out of that
She said, but anyway, get this. They bring up
situation,
some
right?
sort
So I
of She
mean,
says, I didn't.
you still gonna have some of that back and forth. And her husband, you gotta know that when you jumping into a relationship with somebody that's just
Update, I'm sneaking out
getting
on court,
out of it.
right? I
You know
know
what
I'm
I'm
sneaking out from
saying?
court. In the
I
last
mean, you jumping
update,
directly
y'all, it looked like it was curtains.
into a
It looked like the
relationship,
jury was shaking
and
their head
not
on
just
Cassie. It
any
looked
old
like Cassie lost
relationship.
the whole jury. But guess what? Emily, the prosecutor, came
It's a
out there and
relationship
flipped the script. Cassie has been
with
vindicated.
Diddy, and
We've also talked
it's an
to
abusive
expert
relationship.
witness on abuse that is
So
explaining
she
this whole
really
media PR campaign.
ain't
On
even
top of
knowing
that,
which way
it
to
was
go right now, right?
revealed that Cassie just
She
also
don't
settled
know
for an
if
additional 10 million.
she
Cassie
wanna
got 20 from Diddy and an additional 10 million that she is waiting for the
get
check
back
to
in a
crash. Y'all, we got to get into this because it is
relationship,
deep.
or she wanna
I am so relieved. I got to be
go
honest
on
with
with
you. These people ain't do
her
ish
life,
yesterday. However, in the last break, they
and
pretty
she
much
don't want
painted
to
Cassie out
endure
to
those
be a
ass whoopings
liar,
and those
make
freak
her
offs
seem like
no
she was
more.
being
So,
manipulative, make her
it is
seem
what
like,
it is.
she
Let's
was
get
trying
back
to
into
lure
it.
Diddy back in while having Alex on the side. But after what just happened in court, and you guys, I'm just sneaking out. I'm only going to be on here for like maybe 10, 15 minutes, right? After just what happened, no, we can't say that anymore. Cassie is back. The case is, it was never off track, but the case is on track. And Diddy's team was sitting there stuck looking silly. Jenny, what's up? You said thank you forever for the hot tea. First, I want to give a shout out also to, look who we have here. Say what's up. Listen, go on and say hi to whoever you want.
What's up, everybody?
Okay.
Yeah, we live.
Exactly. Trucking. Listen, he's been with me since Tisa Tells since day one. Just wanted y'all to meet him. Thank you so much. In any case, listen. So what actually happened? First of all, the prosecution really thought they did something. They was trying to paint Alex and Cassie out to be broke jokes. They literally were like, so what's your
Okay,
husband do? He's
what
like a
y'all
personal trainer or
want to
something.
go ahead and jump to
Alex Fine,
the
well
next
now he's an actor, but he is a professional
video?
trainer. So when there's like movie sets, TV sets,
This
he
was
is the trainer. That boy
almost
is at
over.
least
She's
making half a
having
million
some
a year. Now, is it the
technical
millions
issues.
Diddy
So,
had?
okay, look,
No, but you
we just
also
gonna
don't have
jump
to
to the next
literally
video, right?
act like you're gonna see God
Let's
while
get
you're
this
being urinated
stream.
on in a pool full
Should
of
be
baby
coming up.
oil, baby. And honestly, I don't know, somebody to make 500,000 a year that look like Alex or Diddy's demonic self. I don't know which one you keep. But anyway, they tried to play this. Cassie said that she was going on tour. They was like, oh, so after you got your settlement, there was no tour, right? Cassie said that's not the reason why. Even though Cassie, if it is, I won't even be mad at it. But here is the way that Cassie was actually vindicated, okay? The prosecution jumped up on there and they got straight to the point. Cassie, did you want to do the freak offs? Because here's the thing. I know the blogs are picking up, oh my God, Cassie wanted to do the freak off. Cassie even said, this was an 11-year relationship. And Diddy maybe has at most 5 or 6 text streams where she's not even saying she wants to do it. She's just like, well, I don't know. I'd rather do this. I'd rather do that, okay? And Diddy's team tried to run with that. They tried the babyfication, which I thought was really hard to prove, that a grown man double the age was just this drug addict that when he blacked out, he ain't know what he was doing. However, you know enough to run $1 billion company. You know enough to orchestrate your freak offs. You know enough to control everybody's life in your orbit and micromanage, but yet all of a sudden you a baby that's just like, with the crack, with the crack, with the crack. It's just not going to happen. Diddy, shut up, Diddy. It's just not going to happen. In any case, the prosecution got up there and they pointed out the fact that she did not want it. She was under his control. And no matter how many messages that you have going on, it is called fawning. There was a domestic violence expert in court, Sade. I'm going to try to have her on my channel. She actually introduced what fawning was. And this is the way the prosecution pretty much rehabbed Cassie's image. Now, before y'all go into this, I do want to say one thing. I'm in the courtroom. I see what is going, and I also see what all of the other blogs, the mainstream media, and everybody is saying. I saw the reports where people were saying that Cassie Ventura said she doesn't hate Diddy now, saying I have love for the past. Diddy texted her when she had her baby, and Cassie had been hard in therapy and she's clean, unlike Diddy. It's so funny, everybody trying to say that Cassie was the one that got Diddy strung out. When Cassie's clean, Diddy, they just found a bottle of Tucci laying on your dresser, and God knows what else you are making like the roach and rat hairs in your jail out to be him. Let's actually be real, Diddy. Again, everybody, even the defense, trying to act like she loved them. That's not what it is. We're going to hear from the expert in a second. And I think Sade is going to be so kind and come on the channel. But they literally tried to play it like Cassie was the problem. When at the end of the day, Cassie moved on. She got a man that loves her. Who was still in Cassie's situation? Gina. Who's still high on Tucci and whatever else? Diddy. Who still is in the throes of all his demons and using as an excuse? Diddy. I did think it was disgusting that the defense is playing into old misogyny, saying that they were just two young kids, wild, free. No, there was a kid, and then there was somebody old enough to be the kid's father. But you know what? We'll talk about that in a second, okay? Again, let's talk about that lawsuit. Girl, Douglas Wigdor, Tyrone Blackburn, Esquire, they know how to get to the money, honey. So if you guys don't know, Cassie actually got 20 million from Diddy, right? There was an extra $10 million settlement. Baby, the prosecution was like, objection, Your Honor, objection, Your Honor, objection, Your Honor. Donna, thank you so much for the super chat. Wanda J 1970 said, thank you for all the updates. You're welcome, Mama. S. Williams said the defense embarrassed themselves once again. They did. Mary Mack said, you doing your thing, lady. I appreciate you. Also, C. Hubbard, thank you so much for the super chat. And who else? Hold on, there's one more super chat. Francesca, thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, so listen. The defense did embarrass themselves because I want to make one thing clear, okay? If you don't know anything about the law, if you don't know anything about sex trafficking, if you don't know anything about what's going to happen, then it would be very, very easy to believe that, and I'm live from the courthouse, it would be very, very easy to believe that they did their big one yesterday, and they definitely did this big one today. I'm not going to lie, they had Cassie looking a little bit silly after it. But again, the prosecution came in, right? Again, Diddy's PR team, who was sitting right in court having lunch with TMZ. Hold on, here's a doggy. Hey, Adeline Joseph. Welcome to Super Chat. The doggies are here. Anyway, right? Diddy's PR people, who was seen in the cafeteria smoozing with TMZ, Shade Room producers, who else? Breakfast Club producers, that whole gamut, right? Baby, this is literally like a high school reunion. You see that it has been plastered all over the media. Cassie says she does not hate Diddy. I have love for the past and for what it was. Again, the fact that they are trying to mobilize somebody healing and being able to not lead with hate, hate will make you ugly. Hate will suck you dry. Hate will have you looking like Diddy, literally looking mad, sad, scared, surprised all at the same time at the defense table, right? Again, they also said Cassie was hurt threatening an escort. That was Jonathan Oddie. Cassie was hurt threatening Jonathan Oddie for a suspected S-tape in court, saying, if you don't show me, I will bleeping kill you. That sex escort is Jonathan Oddie. However, the thing is, and Cassie literally was confronting, the thing is, Cassie said that she got recorded without her permission. But when the true story came out, and then the prosecution was like, and he said he was going to leak it to the world. And Cassie was like, I'm not sure about that. Jonathan Oddie actually said in his interrogation video, he said this a long time ago, that he did have a tape. But he made it when Cassie actually passed out, because Diddy was shoveling her with rugs. Cassie actually passed out. And Diddy, Jonathan Oddie was afraid Diddy was going to pin him with a body. So he taped it. He secretly taped all their interactions then and after that to make sure that nobody could pin anything on him. Again, Diddy was always into dark stuff. And how is it that Cassie was the one that was supposed to be leading Diddy astray, but Diddy was always the one never passed out? Cassie was always the one blacked out, passed out, sores in the mouth, UTIs, and God knows whatever else. Anyway, Shannon Walters says, I love being a tattletale. What was his attitude today? And his family, were they smugged or pissed? Thanks, Tisa. And also, Jacqueline Canary Park said, you're so good. Better thank the podcast. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so much. So listen, I'm not going to lie to you. Before the break, so I did a live where I was like, yo, Cassie just got called up. This isn't good, right? Chrissy Love, new subscriber. Thank you. Home trial. It's raining again, but I'm not on the steps. But y'all, the Cassie's 2018 story, her grape story was called into question on the stand. And baby, I gotta be honest with you, because I call a spade. This is not good. I know a lot of people yesterday were saying Diddy's team needed to be done. That was lies and nonsense. They were not doing what needed to be done yesterday. But today, when I came, this is not good. I know a lot of people yesterday were saying Diddy's team needed to be done. That was lies and nonsense. They were not doing what needed to be done yesterday. But today, when I came back from break, Cassie's whole story fell apart. And you guys, it is crazy. Okay, so what actually happened, okay? Cassie told the story yesterday about what Diddy did to her, the way that she felt like she was taken advantage of, the way she felt that she told this man to stop, and he did not stop, and all this stuff. You guys, this is breaking news, and I really don't know what to do about it, okay? Because I gotta be fair. I gotta talk about when the defense has a win. I know we all want Diddy in jail, but we gotta talk about when the defense has the win. The defense had a huge win today, and I mean huge win today, okay, in the fact that they didn't press Cassie, they didn't confront Cassie, they didn't do anything with Cassie. But what they did do with Cassie is literally just say, you know what happened in 2018? He raped me. Okay, that happened. 2 days later, she sent him a text with a heart. After that, they were saying, I love you, I miss you. I took notes. It was
Yeah, she was brilliant. I thought she
bad.
got
Diddy asked to see her.
30
She said, good morning,
apparently
I'm
she got a 20
confused, right?
million
They had her
interest,
out there looking
30
crazy.
million,
I
right?
think you're
Then
going to,
she
girl,
intended to
listen,
file
they had her
lawsuits
out
after
there
this.
looking crazy. Now,
And she
let me just
said,
say this.
don't get
I do
convicted
think
out
that
there.
they are
He
going to
went,
get a
right?
specialist that is
I
involved
mean,
in
nobody's
sex trafficking.
gonna
They're going to get a specialist that is involved in the way victims of this type of stuff and PTSD
right?
react. This could be a trauma
So
response. Sorry, sorry about that. This could be a trauma response, but at the end of the day, nobody really knows what it is. I'm whispering because I'm on the steps. It is raining. I don't have an umbrella, and I don't feel like them telling me to get off the steps, so I'm filming. Okay. Now it could be a trauma response. It could be anything. However, she did say that she was
what is
raped.
he
She
actually
ended up
about to
sleeping
do?
with Diddy
Like
one time after that. We
Jay-Z
know that.
fans.
But the thing that they didn't know is they
Yeah,
introduced text
he's
messages
basically
that the
done. I mean,
prosecution
people are
did
saying
not
that
have.
he
And
has
those text
investments and
messages
things
do
like
not,
that, but
those
get
text
some
messages do
up off of
not
these
paint
drugs
a
while
good
he's
picture.
in there,
Those text
and he's gonna
messages
come back
show
out
the
with a
story
drug
of
habit. You know what I'm
someone
saying?
that
Like
it's not adding up. Now that said, there are a
you know
lot
what I
of
mean? So
women
while he's
and men that are
worth
raped by their
400
partners
million
or
at
by
this
their
time,
bosses or
that
whoever, and they still stay close to that person, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean
you
anything,
go
but
quick.
let's get into these facts, right?
Then you applying yourself
Listen,
selling
they
your
said that
butt
she
out.
was on the
Recently
beach
heard
walking.
that
She texted him like, oh my
that
God, I'm on
home
the
had
beach walking
started.
with my
Let's
dad.
say we're gonna get back
Literally,
into
she's
it.
like, yo, have fun with your
We'll
yoga teacher. And he was like, what's that
like
supposed to mean? And Cassie said that she thought he was sleeping with the yoga teacher. And Diddy was like, she said, he was like, he's like, I'm not dating anyone. And she's like, you've been going with
get
dates all along. This is now like a week after the rape. She said, I actually need to stop caring. No, Diddy said, I actually need to
the
stop.
last video that she did today, and we just gonna have to wait until Monday to get you some more updates on this. Like I said, man, y'all can read the tweets from um, Inner City Press. He does a pretty good job of tweeting, although he does miss a lot, as you can see from these videos. Tish is very detailed. If you just want to get the summation of what, what went on in um, the courtroom that day, then you can also check out during La Rosa. But for me, all my I'm with Tish on this. And my bad, I ain't know I had started the video. Am I breaking up?